So welcome. This is Kim Grenon with another episode of Mommycosm Reviews. Today is January 10th, 2010. Oh, no, it's not. It's 2011. See, I'm playing with the. Ugh. I quit. Today's not my day. Can I tell you that? Okay. I'm just gonna go with this, and I'll edit this part out later. Is it the 11th? Today is 11/11. It's 1/11/11. Yep. Uh-huh. Can you tell what kind of day I've been having? Stellar. Wow. Yeah, see, that's okay. So, but anyhow, I'm Kim Grenon. This is Mommycosm Reviews. And this is kind of neat because this is episode 11 on 1/11/11. That's kind of neat. So, we're going to go with it. This evening we are going to talk about a product called the S Factor. Am I lost? I am lost. My nose is going to start bleeding in a minute. Some weird time warp. And I have 11 viewers right now. There we go. It's a lucky 11. I think I should go to the casino and put something on 11, huh? All right. I am going to run the standard FTC disclosure so that you guys, and it's on record that I told you that I sometimes receive products for free in order to review them. Thus is the case with the S Factor. Oftentimes the company is sending you directly a product. This evening I'm actually giving away my review copy of the product. It's very slightly used, been used once to do a review, and I'm shipping it to you directly because I think it's something valuable that somebody will love. So here's the disclosure. You can chat over here. Okay, so the S Factor, the tagline for the product says that may cause nearsightedness. No, that's not the tagline. The tagline actually is the secret to loving well. It is put out by a company called Legacy Publishing, I believe. And I actually did review another product of theirs called the Total Transformation Program, and that product, once I finished the complete review of that, I reached out to them and asked them for the S Factor, and I actually did this a while ago. I want to say it was 2 years ago that I reached out and got a free copy. And it's just been we reviewed a little bit of it, and we're going through a rough period of time at that point in time, and felt that we needed a little something, and so this actually sparked us to work on our marriage a bit. And for the most part, I'd say our marriage is great to this day because we communicate better. And the S Factor actually was the catalyst to get us started with that. So I thought I'd share what the S Factor is. The S Factor consists of 9 DVDs. Within the 12 DVDs, and within the 12 DVDs, my husband, this is where live streaming gets fun, and for those of you that are new to the show, I often get distracted by the chat box. My husband's saying, for the most part, it's been a rough day, but all's good. And I'll share more later about that. But the S Factor, let's focus here, is 12 DVDs, and it's 9 lessons within the DVDs. It's put out by a person called Dr. Joseph Mennick. He's a psychologist and has been for 20 years. It says that he's been married to his wife for 40 years. He's a couples therapist, and he created the S Factor. Now I'm going to kind of give a disclosure here and say the type of marriage challenges that I'm going to talk about tonight are your run-of-the-mill marriage challenges. And I'll give you a whole list of things that they cover. What this does not cover is abuse. If you are in an abusive relationship, this is not something that is for you. You need more help than what this can offer. in which case I'm going to actually put up the hotline for the National Domestic Violence Hotline. I just want to make sure that it's clear that this is not for you if that is the case. So the number for that is 1-800-799-SAFE. And if you are in an abusive relationship, that's where you can get help. They have a lot of advice there. So that being said, the type of challenges we're talking about are the nitpicking little things, some big things as well, that actually will drive you insane and want to, I joke, but want you, you want to hurt your spouse. Not in a violent way, but you know what I'm saying. I can see Star Smile 476, I'm being told. But I'm not sure who Star Smile 476 is. Star Smile 476. I'm going to go over to the Ustream chat and make sure. If you were on, I do see people over there. If you were on the Ustream chat room, I can see people chatting over there. You need to move over to the Meebo chat room. The Ustream chat room this evening is not going to be used for the giveaways. You need to go over to Mommycosm.com chat to go along with the Ustream video. The one that is sitting next to the Ustream video on Ustream, if you were watching from there, is not the correct one this evening. So I want to make sure that that's clear so there's no mistakes or anything. There are 11 people currently in this room. The link is there already. If they're already on Ustream using the Ustream chat room, you want to give them the mommycosm.com/live link. I will put it right here, and if you want to cut and paste it, you're more than welcome. So mommycosm.com/live. There you go. So if you're monitoring the other room for me, my husband, thank you. I would greatly appreciate that. So back to the S factor. I'm going to actually go over to here. Let's see. I just want to make sure that that worked. I'm going to go over and I'm actually going to go to their website, and anybody can go onto their website and click onto this video that introduces it. I would just want to share it with you all right now. So I'm going to go over. Okay, I'm pausing that because I'm seeing people in the chat asking what happened to the sound. Can you guys not hear the sound on what he's saying on there? And I'm looking in the chat. No sound, really. You can't hear that. Why is that? Because it wouldn't be any different from my own thing. That's interesting. You saw her, no sound in the clip. Sweet, so I won't do the clip. What the clip was trying to tell you, welcome to Technology Issues, 2011. Here we are. Is that they show video clips on the DVDs of various couples talking through using the program so that you can see real examples of how the program works. The program is built on the premise that in order to have a great marriage, you need to be able to communicate. And it's not our fault that we don't know how to communicate well with each other and deal with some of these issues because we've never been through them before. And unless somebody has specifically given you the skills and walked you through certain situations, we're kind of left flailing. And the us factor actually gives you ways of working through various situations. The different areas where it can help with are affairs, trust issues, resentment, boredom, lack of intimacy, blaming, distance, headed for divorce, your spouse won't change, separation, constant arguing, lack of communication, not in love anymore, unresolved conflict, and more. So I'm seeing that give lots of jewelry and flowers help too. I'm seeing other advice in there. We're going to have a minute to chat in a bit. Yeah, I'm thrown for a loop with all these technology issues. There's 9 different lessons within the 12 DVDs. The very cool thing that I like about the S Factor is that it's twofold. If you know that you're having communication challenges or issues within your marriage, but you have a spouse that's not willing to go to a counselor, this is a great product for you. This does not require both parties participate, first and foremost. So if you have a spouse that won't see a counselor, but might feel more comfortable in their living room, you can work on this together. If you're having communication issues and you have passive-aggressive behavior, you're fighting, you're not communicating well, simply by watching this and working on your own behavior, you can make small changes that might work towards fixing things in your marriage. If you change your response to things, if you're not being mean back, if you're not trying to undermine each other back, if you're not letting resentment grow between the two of you, if you're keeping your part of that, your spouse has to change the way they respond to you because you're not constantly in a battle for control or whatever other issues that you might have if you're changing yourself. So my husband's saying, yes, folks, people can change because he knows. He's done a lot of work over the last couple of years, and we've done a lot of work together. Yikes. I'm seeing that people are having a hard time with the chat as well. Here's the deal. I'm going to monitor both chat rooms with your help, and I'm going to make a judgment call when it comes down to the giveaways. That's the only real reason why I need to have everybody in one chat room. So if technology is preventing us from doing so, I will make sure when I go for the giveaways that I am fair and I do my best as long as I don't have anybody really, really mad at me. If it's close, I'm going to make a judgment call on who to give the product to. Okay, that being said, these are the 9 major lessons that are... So those are the 9 different lessons. It pretty much covers just about anything. If you watch the introduction, you should have me. Can you hear me now? Is there sound now? Can you guys hear me? Did it go really fast? You can hear me. Okay. I can go through the list again if you would like. Sound is good, loud and clear, fabulous. Oh, this is so hard when there's so many technological issues. I'm sorry about this. And people move from Ustream. Okay. I will still check Ustream, like I promised. Let's chat while I have everybody in chat. I hear my hair's looking great. Yeah, except for this piece that's going like here. The bad part is I can actually see me during this whole, oh, we'll fix that, and we'll tuck it. Here we go. This is what an interactive show is all about, right? I'm being told, good job being responsive to our needs. I just want to make sure everybody is getting what they need over here. All right, let's chat. One thing that jumped out at me when I very first got this is the quote that's at the bottom of it. It's not a tagline for it per se, but it just has a little reminder at the bottom of when you open up, when you first open up the whole thing. It's at the bottom, and it says, good relationships don't happen, we create them. And that's true, so it stuck with me. You really have to work to create a good marriage, just like you would work to create good relationships in any other way, shape, or form. So, what do you think about a program such as the Us Factor? Any thoughts on this? Do you think that it's something that people would use? I just want to get a little feedback on it. Would you watch the DVDs? And nobody's responding to me. Isn't that lovely? Something we need. Anthony's saying that I thought it was hokey at first. He did sit down with me and we watched the beginning couple of videos. What are the DVDs rated? The DVDs are rated G. There's yes, there is one that talks about sex and intimacy, so I'm willing to bet that would be PG-13. It doesn't show anything, but it does talk about the issues that can develop within a relationship, because give me someone that's been married 10 years and tell me that they have not had an issue with one person wanting sex more than the other at some point in time in their marriage. I mean, seriously. If I'll call bullshit on that, and that's the most you'll hear me swear ever on this show. The people that are on there are not actors, and I don't know if my husband's being goofy there or not in the chat room, but they're not actors. They are real couples that have gone through the therapy and have allowed him to videotape the sessions as part of it. And you can see that there's some real tension in the room, and there's some real things going on in there. It was very interesting to watch. It could be very helpful, I'm seeing. I'm ignoring some of these people. If anything, without having to pay a therapist, it opens the lines of communications. It teaches you what habits you have within your communication, where your weaknesses are. You don't hold on to resentment much. So I'm going to go over here. I put together some questions. Now, somebody had mentioned that it went through the lessons really quickly. I'm asking which lessons interest you. Being asked a question in the chat room asking, is there homework? After you watch the DVDs, you actually have a workbook that you can work on together as well. And there's homework, for things for you to work on. And it's not like do your math homework and you're done with it. It really increases your level of awareness so that you start to recognize things. When you start getting into a fight with each other and you're like, whoa, wait, I'm going to back off right now and we're going to approach it from a different angle and we're going to approach it together. Instead of being like, oh, I do this, I've done the laundry, I'm tired, I've done this. Instead of having that war back and forth that's so common in marriages, especially people with small children, I catch myself saying, okay, what can I do to help? And I actually heard that from my husband a couple of times today. What can I do to help? So when you're seeing your spouse being overwhelmed, it really makes you more aware of how you're feeding either the tensions or you're feeding the good things. And honestly, if you lift each other up more than you kick each other when you're down, you'll get more out of your marriage. Go figure. It's taken me a long time to learn this. Definitely not an expert. I'm not a counselor. I'm just a mom, a wife that has, used this program, and I've seen some results within my own marriage. So, questions to continue chatting. How much would you pay for a program such as the S Factor? Now, keep in mind the cost of therapy. This is supposed to be an at-home type of therapy thing. So I can tell you it's not exactly cheap. And I was a little shell-shocked, sticker-shocked, when I did see how much it is. I'm seeing Shanna saying $150. Sounds like I need the discs for reals. I'll be giving it away at the end, so hopefully the people that really need it, someone tonight that really needs it, is karma. It's going to work out that it's the one that gets it. My husband's saying $1 million. No. It's not worth $1 million. Well, it is. If it saves your marriage, it's priceless. So, prices, before I disclose how much it does cost, I was kind of hoping to get, it's like a monthly bill. What they do is, there's actually a free trial, which is for 30 days, I believe, that you get to try it out. If you don't like it, send it back. You pay nothing. If you do like it, they will set up a 3-month monthly payment option. I believe it's $109 a month now. So each month it'll be $109. So the total is, what, $327? Which to me sounded like a lot, I'll be honest with you. But when you take into account how much you would pay a counselor, I know people that have paid $200, $250 an hour to meet with a complete stranger, and they got nothing out of it, or very little out of it. I guarantee you'll get something out of this. I do truly believe that, and they're giving a 30-day guarantee for that reason. They believe so as well. How about $500 for language? Yes. It is much cheaper than divorce, seeing that comment. Amen to that. It truly is. And honestly, if somebody's on the brink of divorce and they're being asked for mediation, I would try this. I truly would try this rather than pay somebody to mediate. If anything, you might learn a little bit about your communication styles, and even if you still choose to divorce, if it's just not going to work out for you, maybe you both increase your respect for each other and your communication skills a bit, that the divorce won't be as messy as it may have been if you hadn't tried it. So I'm going to say that even though I was sticker shocked at first, I will say that it's definitely worth $327. When I look at my marriage and I look that it was the catalyst, could we have found other solutions? Yes, it probably would have taken longer. We were to a point that we were ready to talk. We were ready to do something. We were at a crossroads that could not go on the way that things were going with us, with our communication, with the way we were treating each other, with the resentment that we were letting build. So I would definitely say that it was worth it. Would your spouse, do you think, be willing to participate? If you think that this is something that was for you, do you think that, and I hesitate because I really think that most women would be willing to do this, but a lot of men are more hesitant to ask for help. That's my personal take, so that's why I'm asking that question, because my husband said I already did go on the record that I am a jackass. Oh, silly boy, silly boy. We tried going to get help but could not afford it. I can definitely see that. They don't want to fix what's not broken, even if it's broken. People are supporting my husband, saying that he's a great jackass, though. He really is. He's good at it. Okay, so there's just a few points that I want to bring up before we get to the giveaway. And I'm going to go over just a few minutes just because we started late with this. So it is 8:30, but we're going to keep going for a few. I have a theory about resentment, and this isn't exactly fully coming from the us factor. It's kind of coming from a lot of, self-awareness work that I've done over the last few years. I think in marriage, resentment is always going to be your third partner. Now, it's up to you whether or not you let that resentment build or you tell it to go take a seat back there, and you deal with it and say go to time out because we're good. Resentment, if you let it grow and you ignore it, it stands right between the two of you and you're not able to accomplish anything. It's a bad energy. And I literally have to keep in check resentment, as I'm sure most women do, because I was having a very difficult time that I felt at one point of our marriage that I was the one whose life had to radically change. I gave birth to the babies, I had the C-sections, my body wasn't what it once was, I wasn't working the way that I once was, I couldn't work, I felt guilty if I wanted to work, and those are all resentments that built up that, hey, my husband got to go, and at the time, he was leaving Mondays, coming back Fridays for work, and I was handling everything else. So, there's different things that form resentment within a marriage, but you need to keep it in check. You really need to acknowledge the resentment that's building and acknowledge that it's there. Tell it that there's no room and put it away. Put it on the naughty seat. Make it go away. Deal with it. One thing that we did learn that I wanted to point out, and when I was looking through the program today, I giggled. Lawyer questions. Does anyone know what those are when it pertains to speaking about marriage? My husband knows what this is because we've talked about this. In marriage, in any relationship really, when you say to somebody, what are why'd you leave your socks there? I can think of a million of them right now. They're questions that you already know the answers to, but you're asking anyway. And you're asking not because you want to know the answer, you already know the answer. You want to make the other person feel small, or you want to control the situation and make the other person know. The answer is to torture you, my dear. Exactly. Lawyer questions do not belong in a marriage. If you catch yourself doing them, and this is something you don't need to read that section of the program now, it's something you can work on. It's hard to not do that because I think women sometimes have a harder time with this, and maybe it's just because I have a harder time with this, that I just want to be like, hey, you stupid, without saying this, why'd you do this, when I'm kind of rubbing his nose in it instead of being helpful or trying to find a solution. So there's no room for lawyer questions, and if it happens between the two of us now, we call each other out on it and say, and I said this to my husband today, please don't rub my nose in it, I know what I did was wrong, that's not a valid question, and move on, because I did do something boneheaded today that I deserved kind of a lawyer question at, but whatever. The other thing that we often talk about is the concept of trust but verify. We were actually given the blessing of my husband being laid off, and I hope I'm not sharing too much right now, and he'll probably say, whoa, 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 in the chat room. When my husband was laid off, it was rather messy, and we were entering into a possible lawsuit with his ex-employer. That's all I'm going to say about that part of it. But we had a really heart-to-heart conversation, and I knew 95% sure that my husband was an extremely hard worker, and that all the times that he was late coming home or he had to travel Monday through Friday, I didn't think any funny business was going on. I really didn't. There were no signs there. He just seems like the type of person that is incapable of doing that. But there's that 5%, and I had to ask him and just say, if I'm going to battle with you, let's clean the slate right now, and you got to let me know. Is there anything that's going to come up? And since then we just know we've discussed this. There's no room for affairs in our marriage. There will not be. If either of us gets to that point, we've failed within our marriage, and we're done. We have vowed. I'm seeing something else he said in here. We have vowed to work on our marriage so that does not get to the point that it becomes an issue. He's giving so much more. This could actually be like a 3-show series, people. 2 months notice now that we're married. We used to joke around about the fact that we owed each other 2 weeks notice before something like that were to happen within our marriage. So is there any other advice within here. Yes, I am going to address this because this is going on in the chat room right now. There is no buts. You cannot say to somebody, I love you, but, because basically everything you say after that erases the I love you. You cannot say to somebody, I'm sorry, but, and then proceed to explain to them why they were wrong. That's not an apology. I've actually outlined apologies, and we talked about apologies last week too when it came to kids and teaching kids how to apologize properly. It's a skill, people. It's a skill that we were not taught. Most people weren't, at least. You know, and I watch myself with my kids, and I say you're sorry to your brother for hitting him. But it's a blind I'm sorry. It's a blank one. It's empty unless you go on to say, I'm sorry. I will not do whatever the gross offense for which I'm sorry for. I will not do this again. Here's what I'm going to do in the future the next time a situation like this presents itself instead of the bad thing that I did. And those are the 3 steps that I make my children work through. So, you know, if Casey hits Charlie, and I don't just say, go say you're sorry to your brother and give him a hug. And this applies to our marriage as well. I'm sorry, Charlie, for hitting you. I was frustrated. I will not hit you next time you frustrate me. Next time, I will walk away. So it's a process. It takes practice, and it takes discipline to be able to actually pull it off. So anybody have anything they want to add for that? Anthony, I always apologize after hitting Kim. Anthony does not hit me. Anthony knows that if he hit me, that he'd be living in his parents' basement so quickly. Those are our 2 rules. No hitting, no cheating. And pretty much beyond that, there's no real deal breakers. I'm willing to work with you. I'm hearing Rufus say, is it better to be right or to be loved? Good point. And that's actually addressed in here too. Some people need to be right at all costs, even if it means that they're making their spouse feel this big. My husband and I both need to learn how to say I'm sorry. It's a skill. It's really hard. It really is. Shanna, if you want the post that I wrote about that, I will share the link with you if you email me later. I'll give you the email at the end. Even if they're Grenons. Grenons are learning. I'm having influence on some of these people. They're getting there for the most part. All right, so you guys ready? I think I've talked long enough. I gave them the 3 parts of the apology, silly. I don't have the link right here, but I will share the link after the show. I will go on to Mommycosm, find the link, and I will share it in the chat box. So if you want that link to the 3 parts of an apology, stay on after I finish this part of the show, and I will be back, and I will give it to you. How's that for a deal? All right. All right, so the giveaway is 1 complete set of the US Factor program. Has an approximate retail value of $327. I'm seeing that there's still somebody on the Ustream chat, and I'm going to go over there just to make sure. Because I hadn't been checking that. I want to make sure that she doesn't have anything that she needs. Uh-oh. Did it go away? This is why I don't use the Ustream chat. Okay, so I'm going to ask Chaz61. Respond in the chat box that you were in if you want to participate in this giveaway. If you say yes, then I'm going to keep an eye out there because you appear to be the only one left over there. Okay, so I'm not seeing, you could say no in there just to let me know so that I'm not looking. That would be helpful. All right, whatever. I will watch both chat streams just to make sure. Thank you for letting me know about that. I don't want to leave anybody out of the giveaway if they want to be part of it. Okay, so that's the giveaway, people. Let me get back over here so I can do this. So it's the US Factor program, and it's my review copy, so it's been opened. You know, the book is a little bit folded, and most of this the DVDs have been watched once, so it's in good shape, practically new, just not new. My disclaimer. The first person to appear in my chat stream, and I should say chat streams this time, with the correct answer will be named the winner. And chat screens may or may not sync, and they're definitely not synced. So I'm going to do my best. So you're ready for the question? Don't worry about me. Okay, I won't worry about you. Okay, we're gonna go back over here so that I can monitor this. Dog-eared. They are not dog-eared. I do dog-ear my books usually because they're mine and I like to, but I did not with this. It's just like on the binding, you know, it's a little bit. You can tell that the book's been opened. There's no dog-haired. I can't guarantee there's no dog hair in there, especially these days. Whew. Okay, with the question, people, focus. According to ALL Living and Women's Day magazine survey, what percentage of women say they have considered leaving their marriage? I dug deep for an interesting statistic to do with you guys. I'm curious to see what you guys think. Don't, if you know, Aruba Ant, don't say you're not. You already own this for long enough. Pick me, pick me. I'm not seeing the number yet. The last one I see, 75, 67, 89, 93. Nope. Nope. 27, 97, 33, 86, 45, 55. You don't have to put the percent if it takes you too long to write that. Just write the number. 35, 10, 35. This is painful. 25, 99, 25, 88, 77, 57, 65, 55. Lots of 55. 66, 56, 70. Ooh. 12, 8. I'm not picking you, Anthony. Go away. 58, 22, 29, 80, 20, 90. 71, 79, 72. All right, Rufus, go away. I have a winner. Freeze! Everybody can stop. All right, stop guessing, stop guessing. Rufus, you distracted me, and somebody had the correct answer. Let me go back up in my chat stream and make sure that I have the correct winner. I want to be fair. And I'm looking, and this makes for a great live show. Mean. Looking at the chat stream. Alright, I have Avon Lady 02 had 72, and the answer is 72%. Yay! See, I said that somebody that said that they wanted it would be the one to win it tonight. So if you could, I think you've won things for me in the past. You've definitely been here before. So if you could email me at themommy@mommycosm.com, I will mail that up to you as soon as I can. So congratulations to Avon Lady 02. Also, if any of you have questions, I feel like we could have chatted about this for quite a long time. This could have taken up a couple of episodes. If any of you have questions, concerns, anything, like I said, I'm not a counselor. I'm just somebody that's gone through rough spells and have dealt with our own issues. We obviously still have our rough days as well, and it's a day-by-day thing that you have to check in with your spouse and learn to communicate. But if you're working together towards a goal instead of against each other, it definitely helps the process along. So if, man, then I missed what all that is about. I don't even want to know what Rufus is talking about on there. You people tonight. I feel like this show was completely discombobulated. This should be a fun one for the archives. Okay, so I'm gonna close out the show. But as per usual, I am going to come back in a moment, and you guys, I will stay on the video so you can still chat with me and all that. But yes, I'm being told this is Shanna's first time here. Is this a weekly show? Yes, this is a weekly show. Different topics, different products. If you go to the mommycosm.com page /live, you will see the different products that I've had. And I have some really good stuff coming up soon in future episodes, some fun stuff that I'm working on. So it's always Tuesdays at 8 for now, unless the audience decides that there's a better time for you. So it's cool, very fun. And I can tell you that some weeks I'm distracted like this and it doesn't flow and there's technical issues and all that. This was probably the most discombobulated I've felt in a while. So the distractions are fun. The chat box is fun as well. So thank you all for viewing. Thank you for coming. And I'm going to run through the credits and I'll be right back so that you guys can chat with me for a little bit off the air. So just give me a moment to get through the credits here.